You know, one of the biggest killers of RVs is water damage, and they either coming in through the roof, through the many slides that they have nowadays, or through a sealed up area that's supposed to be sealed that isn't. And unfortunately, a lot of the RVers are not proactive enough to look for the leaks before they happen. So one important thing to do is to notice the leak sooner rather than later. And one way of doing that is water leak detectors, like the water leak detector sensors. We have a bunch of them on RV. Ever since we started full-time RVing, we made sure we put those in every area where water could possibly leak. We got like probably 6 to 8 of them throughout this RV here, in every area, under our sinks, under the tubs, behind the toilet, behind the wet bay, every place where water could possibly leak, we have a water sensor. One new thing we've been using YoLink. YoLink is affordable, but they work really well, and they got the longest distance in the industry. So like far as getting a read, and it'll let me know from anywhere if I have a leak. And I have the voice hub also. It'll tell me what sensor's leaking, so I can go right to that sensor and find my leak. But one thing that would be nice is if we're not at the RV and we forget to shut the water off, because normally we shut the water off when we leave. But if we didn't and we forgot to do that and a sensor went off, it'd be nice to have a valve that shut the water off to the whole rig to prevent any further water damage from the leak. So it's with this YoLink setup, it's supposed to tie the water valve into the sensor. So when the sensor detects a leak, the water valve will shut right off and shut the water off to the whole rig. And that's what we're trying to accomplish today. So we reached out to our friends at YoLink. We've been using them for a long, long time. They have quality stuff, and it's at really cheaper prices. So, I mean, affordable prices, I should say. This here is their automatic shutoff valve. They have a couple different models of this. This particular one has the threads, and they got the brass base. They do have one with stainless steel base if you need that. And they do have a newer generation, which has the lithium batteries, which last longer. They have the kind that do the ball valve, like a thing that'll hook onto your current ball valve. They got all kinds of setups. I think you guys should check them out. I mean, sensors for everything. The door sensors, we use the door sensors, carbon monoxide and smoke detectors. We got the water sensors. We got the hubs. We got this. They have cameras. They have everything. So we're excited to get this installed today. Gives us more peace of mind of, not having that water damage, because we know that kills RVs like crazy. I'm up on our roof probably twice a month looking for any damage or seal that might have came loose or cracks in the seal that I have to seal up. So I'm proactive about it to try to keep that from happening. But this here we're going to put in line. Now, we'll get you guys a closer look so you can look at this a little bit. I mean, it comes with this and the controller. We'll show you that here in a minute. And what we're going to do is we have a water filter in line from the garden hose. We're going to put this in line of that. We're going to put this in front of the filter, of the water filter. So it'll come in from the spigot through this into the filter. That way we shut it off right at the filter. And we're going to make it with quick hose connects, so we can take it on and off quick as we're moving from campsite to campsite or resort to resort. We can pop this on really quick. We don't have to worry about threading a bunch of stuff in. We got our small little piece of leader hose. There's multiple ways of hooking it up. Depends on your setup. Our particular setup, we got the double female hose we've had. So we adapted to what we had here. We had a couple quick connect hose connections. And then we bought a few adapters for in here, because this is threaded a certain way. And then the other end of this is set up for the garden hose. So that works perfectly for us. And then also we have a swivel for the other end. So you'll see when how we set ours up. You can figure out which way best works for you. But let's get you over here with a closer look so you guys can see more about this. It also has the open and shut little manual dial on top, but you can open and shut it right from your app. The app is pretty easy. And on here, when you scan this, there's a barcode. When you have the app, you scan the barcode, it will find this, and you can set it up. You can rename it. You can do the program to where it's going to shut this off when a water sensor catches a leak. So let's get you guys closer so you can see what we got over here on the table, and then see what we're using for our setup, and you can decide what works for yours. But it's a pretty cool unit. All right, guys, here's a closer look at the stuff that comes when you order this kit. I want to say the kit was $129 online right now on Amazon. We'll leave links to it down below for you guys. But here on the valve is the manual on and off, so you can do it manually if you needed to. And this tells you with the red line if you're in open or closed position. Here's the brass valve. They do have one stainless steel. You guys can see in there. Hopefully there's the ball valve in there. But they do have one stainless steel if you want that. Make sure you try to match your metals up to what you're using so that you don't get that galvanic corrosion. It also comes with your controller unit. This is that barcode I was telling you about that you're going to scan. This is that barcode you're going to scan in order to get it paired with your app, so that way you can control it. And this runs on 3 AAA batteries or AA batteries, or you can plug it in if you're in that situation with this little plug adapter. Like I mentioned, they do have a version 3 or Gen 3, which runs off lithium batteries, which gives you a longer time frame you can run it. They say this will run for 2 years with this set of batteries, so time will tell, right? And of course, some anchors, if you're anchoring it that way, we won't be using those. Now, this here doesn't come with the kit, but this is what we provided for our setup. We just got a little piece of leader hose. The one we happen to have here is double female, so we're going to use that. We got some adapters. These adapters will go into the valve, and that also makes it adapted for the hose setup. So that's why we have those. And to make ours easier to disconnect and connect when we move from resort to resort, we have the quick connect ends we're going to put on there, and also a swivel to make it a little easier. So you guys will see how we're going to do it when we set it up. Like I said, we're going to do it inline from our spigot to the water filter. It'll be inline there, and we're just going to hang it under the slide. You could, if you wanted to, use some, tape to seal up your connections. We'll probably put that on here too. We don't want to risk any leaks. But that's all you get here. Right here is all you get in the package, but that's quite a bit. It does a lot. And like I mentioned, this is a big peace of mind, because the water is the biggest killer of these RVs, and you got to stay up on it. So let's get this over here, get this hooked in line, and see what it's all about. And then we'll show you in the app how to link this to the sensor, so you can have it shut off your valve if the water sensor leaks or detects a leak. It'll shut this off automatically for you, and then you can find your leak, fix it, and then you're good to go. So let's go over here and get this done. All right, guys, the first thing we're going to do, you can see under here, this is our hose going into our filters. We're going to disconnect there, and we're going to go our valve in between the filter and the end of this hose. So the first thing you're going to want to do, obviously, is shut off your water at the hose, which, let me do that real quick. Okay, we have our water shut off to our hose. We're just going to take the hose out of here, and then for us, we're just going to hang our valve from this bar here on the slide, because we're in one spot for quite a while when we're moving around. So we're going to hang it from here, and we got the grip lock ties. These things are awesome. They're reusable, got the releases on them and everything. Not a sponsor, but they work pretty damn awesome. But we're going to disconnect this hose from here, and then we're going to put it in line. I'll show you how we're going to do that. So let me get this disconnected, and then we'll come right back. All right, guys, we got our hose disconnected. Now this is the other end by the filter. What we're going to do is we're going to use this. This is a double connection for hoses, the 3/4 inch hose. One end's going to go into the filter, and one end's going to go into our hose. This is our little section of leader hose. Your situation may vary. Maybe you don't have the filter or something, but you're probably still going to need a leader hose of some sort. So you don't need any Teflon tape on these. We're just going to screw it into the end of the filter, because they got the washers. And then our hose is going to go on the end of that. I hope you guys can see that. Our hose is going to go on the end of here. And here we go. Now we have the other end of our hose, which that'll be where our other piece comes in. I already put Teflon tape on this. This is going to screw into here, like the hose connection. And then this part will go in your valve. So that's what we're going to do, is put this in the valve next. Since we've already used the Teflon tape, we're just going to put it into here. And we bought the correct one with the correct threads that thread into this. You'll need a couple wrenches or some adjustable pliers to tighten this down. And then we hook the hose onto it here. Then we got the one part hooked up. Then we just put the adapter in for the other end of our hose we disconnected. Now you could do it that way, or like we're going to do, you can use the quick disconnects for the hoses. That's going to make it easier for us when we get to site to site. So we can screw this end into here like this. You guys can see that, right? We screw this end in to our hose. Then we're going to screw this end onto the other end. See, like that? And that would allow this to latch on there really quick. Or like we're going to, since we're going into our valve, we got another one of these. That's going to screw into here. Seems like a lot of connections, but that's what we want to do for the quick disconnect. So see, that would go into here, and this end would go into your valve. Then all we got to do is do this to take the valve off. And then And if we wanted to and we weren't using the valve, we could also just put the quick connect on this end of this hose and just hook it right in. But that quick disconnect is going to make it so much easier to take the valve on and off. So that's what we decided to do. But before we can get this this onto there, we're going to put thread sealant on here and put this into the valve. Show you guys that. We're just using some Teflon. The end that goes in the valve is the end we want to put the tape on because it doesn't have the rubber type of seal. But we'll tighten it down inside of that. Make sure you pick the right direction that you're putting that in so you can wrap it around there right. There you go. Teflon tape is on. Hope you guys can see all right. Maybe I'll move it down a little bit more. There you go. Maybe that's a little better for you guys. Hopefully. All right, now that we got that on there, this is going to be the end that's going to screw into the valve. It doesn't matter which way the valve sits. I'm just going to do it so the button faces me where I would access this. Now I just screw this into here, and I'm going to tighten it down into here. Just use your adjustable wrench, tighten it down in until it's tight. Not too tight, it is brass, but tight enough. So I'm going to tighten this up, then I'll hook it up to my quick disconnect here. Boom. Hook this. I can put this on now, that don't matter. My quick connect will be on. This will be tight. Then this end's ready to hook up to the hose real fast like that. So that's that end. Now we're going to work on this end, which will also hook to the hose, and that's it for this being in line. Then we're just going to zip tie it to our frame up here. You can see the bar. We're just going to zip tie it to that, keep it up underneath the slide. And then this plug goes into the controller, which will also hang under here. We're probably going to put something on the frame to hang the controller, just like a sticky hook or something that'll allow the controller to sit on there, because it does have a little hook there. So that would fit there pretty nice and be out of the way. And then it's easy to take off if you need to do that. So let me get this tightened down, and then I'll show you what we're going to do for this end. All right, guys, for this end, we're doing close to the same thing. We're going to put in that adapter piece. We're going to tighten that down. We're going to get our quick disconnect is going to mount to this here. So like I said, it's going to be able for us to just quickly pop this off and get this out of service if we don't want to. And then we have one swivel that's going to join this nail to this nail. So that's it. Then we'll easily be able to pop this off. This will be hooked up. And then I'll show you how we're going to hang our controller up here on the frame, and also how it's just got the one plug. It plugs in one way, so you can do that. We'll plug that in. Then I'll show you. We'll scan the code on the controller before we hang it up here, and then we'll get it linked to our app. I'll show you how to do that. So let me get this one tightened down, and then get this mounted on here, and then we'll just hook the hose in. I'll show you after we have it hanging there. All right, show you guys what we're dealing with. We got this zip tied up to that one part of the frame, and it just sits here in between. We got our quick disconnects if we wanted to take it out of service or had to service it or anything. We can get it in and out of here fast from site to site. So that's nice. We have a little bit of our cable ready for the controller. But before we get this hung on the frame and plug this in, I'm going to show you how to link the controller to your app so you can get it found in there, and then you can do everything from there. So let's get this hooked up to the app. Let me show you how to do that. All right, guys, the first thing we want to do is open up our YoLink app, which we have our YoLink app opened up right here. And then for us, let me hide this here. For us, we want to scan the barcode on our controller. So up here in the top right corner, you're going to see the thing for the scanner. We're going to press that, and immediately found it because I'm right over it. Here is where you can put what room it's in, give it a name. I'm just going to keep it YoLink valve for now. Let's see. I'm going to put this under outside for now. I'm going to hit the checkpoint in the corner, or the check mark in the corner. If we can, we got this in our way. Check mark in the corner. All right. Now we're going to bind the device. It's successfully added. So now we're going to go down and find that. You can see down here our YoLink valve is on, or is linked here. And you can see that little button down there next to it, the slider button. That's going to be able to open and close the valve. If you want to, right now it's in the closed position. You can click open and open it. So I'll go outside and show you that. You guys can hear that. I'll disconnect it. Maybe you guys can see the valve move around as well. But let's go outside and do that. All right, like I mentioned, we had this all hooked up. We're getting ready to hook our controller up, but we're going to clean this part of the frame because that's where we're going to put our hook. You guys can see that we just got some rubbing alcohol. Clean that part of it. And then we're just going to use a little hook like this. It's going to hold the controller right to the frame. We got some double-sided tape on there. And that's going to work for us. Get the back end peeled off. All right, we got our tape peeled off of there. We're just going to stick it up here. Now you can see our controller will hang here nicely, just like that. It's out of the weather being underneath the slide. And to hook this up, you got two plugs coming off the bottom. One is for if you're going to hook it in with that plug we showed you for the, I think it's the 12-volt plug, if you can plug it in somewhere. We're not. We're using the batteries. So we're just going to plug the valve into the controller. It only goes in one way because it's got that little nub on it. And it's got the rubber washer. We'll hook it up. And since we already binded it in the app, it's set and ready to go. I'm going to get you guys the mic close to the valve so you guys can hear it. All right, guys, we're going to show you here. We're in the app right now for our... Let's get this mic closer to you guys. All right, we're right here in the app. We have the valve portion of it pulled up. You got open and close. I'm going to put this mic next to the valve so you guys can hear it operate when I press open. And then you guys confirm that, yes, you want to open it. I'm sure you guys can hear that because I can hear it from here. So that's our valve open, and then we can close it and confirm. And we can confirm that it is operating and closing right now. So that's working. Like I showed you, it was pretty simple to bind that controller in the app. I mean, it was almost immediate. Next thing we're going to do, now that we got this hooked up, we'll just get our water on. We'll leave it off, but we're going to turn our water on at the spigot. And then we're going to try to set up the program to make it shut off when a water sensor senses water. If it senses a leak, it'll turn this off automatically to mitigate the loss or the damage you'll get from water. So that's what we're going to do next. I'll show you how to do that and set that up in here. I'm going to show you here in the app how to set it up so you can control your valve with like one of your water sensors. If you have the YoLink sensors, which I recommend, you get a good deal on those. They're pretty cheap, but we're going to show you how to set that up. Let me hide this thing. It's always in the way. Down at the bottom, you're going to see the little icon that says Smart. You're going to press Smart. And then here at the top, you're going to click Automations. And then we're just going to use the top sensor. That's the one we grabbed, the one from behind the toilet. Click that one. Now down here where it says Behavior, we want to add a behavior. So on that plus symbol you see there, we're just going to press plus. And then under the top where it says Device Actions, if an action occurs, we're going to click that top one. Here's our water valve. You can see that there. We're going to click that, and we're going to tell it to close if the water valve senses a leak. And we're going to press the check to verify it, verify that, and then we're all set there. You can see down here now it says YoLink valve to close, and also tell our speaker hub to talk. There we go. Our automation is all set up for that valve now when that happens. So now I'm going to flip over to the other camera, and I'm going to show you that we're going to activate the sensor, and you'll hear it close the valve on the on the valve there, so you can tell it shuts off the water. All right, guys, here's the little water sensor we're going to use. Right now, our valve is open, and the water is flowing through our valve. And now we're just going to activate our sensor. Just moist your finger a little bit. I can hear our alarm going off inside. You're going to hear this close. Right now that just closed. It shut the water off to the RV, and now we don't have any further water damage, which this is awesome. This is a game changer. It's going to help save your RV from all that water damage that could happen if you weren't near it. So this is an awesome setup. I can't wait to, I don't want to say have a leak, but I'll feel better about it knowing that it's not going to leak in our rig. Well, there you go, guys. Pretty helpful device to install on your RV, especially if you're RVing full time like we are. But even if you're doing it on the weekend, that water's going to damage stuff. So having these in place is going to give you that peace of mind, save your equipment. These things cost a lot of money, so there's no sense having all that water damage if you don't need it. We're going to give a big shout out to YoLink. We've been working with YoLink for a long time, probably 5 years at least now. Me and my son, we both full-time RV, and these things are very helpful. They're water sensors. We have these all over the rig. Like I mentioned, we have the water sensors, the smoke and carbon monoxide detectors. We have the what else we got? We have the outside thermometers, inside thermometers. We have a thermometer in our freezer. Now we have this valve. We have the sensors on the doors. If they open and close, they have a full line of stuff. You guys need to check them out. We'll leave links to them down below so you can check out all the equipment they have online. Special guest.
Hey guys, you probably see me in some previous videos, but I did want to mention with the full-time RVing, the YoLink kind of system in general is just fantastic because if you have pets or something inside, like I have a dog, if you're away, let's say the power goes out, things like that, having the sensor be able to let me know like, hey, the temperature's risen to this level, and to be able to set certain automations into effect, because YoLink has a plethora of different things. I don't know if they have one to open a door, but I don't remember if I remember seeing it. But
open a door, I don't know.
I don't know if it's like a hinge or something like that, but you know, just the ability to have a full understanding of everything that's happening in your RV when you're not present, which is definitely peace of mind, at least for me. I know these sensors probably saved me thousands of dollars already, catching a leak early.
Yeah, you got a new rig and you already had leaks like right away. So one behind the dishwasher, one in the under bay.
Yep.
If it wasn't for the sensors, you wanted to caught it, and it would have cost a lot of money.
Exactly. So just wanted to mention that.
And like I said, there's more than just this valve I showed you today. They have the stainless steel one like this. They have ones that just go on top of your existing ball valve and will shut it on and off. There's bigger systems. They got newer ones with the lithium batteries that last longer. They got a full line of stuff, and they got the industry leading range. I forgot what it was. They got a long range, 2.4 something. Gives you a long range as far as distance it'll operate. Plus, you can operate these from anywhere once you have the app and your internet's running. So like we do, we put our internet on a battery backup. So if the power did happen to go out, we could still activate all our stuff and check everything. That's a helpful thing to do. So anywhere you are, so you get that alarm and you're 200 miles away, you could check it all right on your phone. And now your thing will shut the water right off. You ain't got to worry about it. So.
Yeah, and that's like one of the biggest threats to RVs, but besides fire, would be water damage. So
exactly. Yeah, so yeah, I guess if you had sprinklers or something, you wouldn't want your water shut off.
I don't know. This is all just like proactive, just in case of emergency, but also too like cost effective for YoLink products. Like absolutely no complaint with the quality. The batteries last forever. Like
customer service.
Oh, absolute perfect customer service. Like I think I had a hub that was a few years old, and it was having a problem connecting to the internet. Like it would just keep disconnecting, contacting customer service. They're like, we'll send you a brand new one.
Yeah, and it
no
worked
questions
flawless.
asked. They had me do a little bit of troubleshooting to ensure that the device was malfunctioning, but yeah.
Yeah, and that works perfect. Also, you might have seen we hit that orange hose we use that says not for drinking water. We're not going to leave that there. We are going to put a better one in here, but that's one we had here. So just for the sake of video, it's easy because we had it. So we'll be changing out or making our own because we only need it so long, you know, it's hard to find it with what we need. So we'll change that out. So if you guys found this video helpful or informative all, I hope you go down below and click that like button and subscribe to the channel. We notice a lot of you guys aren't subscribed. We are all over the place with the videos, but our channel is a little bit of everything. We do RV stuff and we got some new stuff coming up. You guys will see that pretty soon. Something else we're doing. You'll see all kinds of stuff, how-tos, reviews, installs,
guides, vlogs, anything, you name it.
We do everything all over the place.
Variety is the spice of life.
But until next time, guys, thanks for watching. Try something new.
Do a little bit of everything.